but a roadmap toward a more just, prosperous, and sustainable Philippines. May this gathering inspire cooperation, strengthen our sense of service, and renew our shared commitment to the common good. With grateful hearts, we offer this moment to you, trusting that with your guidance, our nation will move forward in hope and unity. Amen.
Panahon na ng pagbabago, dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na magtulong-tulong na paunlarin ang mahal nating bayan. Gawin ang pagbabago sa pagkasenso, magsikap na mabuti at guminhawa tayo. Ipagmalaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas. Panahon na ng pagbabago at panguna sa kahit anong larangan. Tagumpay karangalan, iyan ay handog natin sa ngayon. Pinakulit na bayan ng Pilipino, ang husay at lakas, kagandahan at talento, hanggang makipagpalit sa kahit anong oras. Ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas. Ipagmalaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
You may now take your seats. To formally open today's ceremony, it is our honor to invite the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, to deliver his welcome remarks.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to the House of the People. Today's turnover of the 2026 National Expenditure Program from the Department of Budget and Management is not just a formality, it is the first step in shaping how our government will serve the Filipino people in the year ahead. Like every family, we know that every peso must have a purpose. We cannot spend what we do not have, and we must spend wisely on what matters the most. Bawat piso may pinaglalaanan, bawat gastusin dapat may pakinabang sa tao. The net is more than just numbers on paper. It is the government's plan to make the vision of Bagong Pilipinas real. Roads that connect communities, markets where food is affordable, schools that open doors to opportunity, hospitals that save lives, and safe, secure communities for every Filipino. A budget is not just a spending plan, it is a mirror of our priorities and a measure of our accountability to the people. And because this is the people's money, the process of crafting it must be transparent, inclusive, and worthy of public trust. That is why, beginning this year, the House will implement important reforms. First, we will remove the small committee that collated institutional amendments. Bukas ang talakayan, lahat ng amendments, alam ng mamamayan. Second, we will open the bicameral conference committee on the budget to the public and to the media. Kung pera ng taong bayan ang pinag-uusapan, dapat taong bayan din ang nakaalam. Third, we will invite civil society, people's organizations, and the private sector to join budget hearings. Ang pambansang budget ay hindi pag-aari ng mga politiko. Ito ay pera ng bawat Pilipinong nagbabayad ng buwis. Fourth, we will strengthen oversight requiring timely reports from agencies and enabling real-time tracking of major projects. Bawat pisong ginastos dapat may katumbas na serbisyong nararamdaman. And fifth, we will prioritize investments that truly change lives. Agriculture for food security, infrastructure for connectivity, and jobs, education for opportunity, health for all, and defense and disaster preparedness for national safety. These reforms are not meant to slow the process. They are meant to make it better, stronger, and more trusted. Kapag malinaw ang proseso, malinaw din ang tiwala. In the coming weeks, we will review every page of the net expenditure program guided by one question. Makakabuti ba ito sa ating mga kababayan? If yes, we will support it. If not, we will work to make it better. A budget that people can trust is a government the people can believe in. Before I close, again, I'd like to welcome with us today the Department of Budget Management Secretary Amina Pangandaman, our Senior Deputy Speaker David Suarez, along with the other Deputy Speakers, we have Horace, our Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan, Committee on Appropriations Chairperson Micaela Swansing, Committee on Appropriations Senior Vice Chairperson Albert Garcia, PLLO Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin, honorable House members and officials, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and mabuhay ang Sambayanang Pilipino.
Thank you very much, Speaker Romualdez, for your warm words of welcome. At this point, to give a message and provide us with a briefing on the National Expenditure Program for fiscal year 2026, we invite the Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, the Honorable Mina F. Pangandaman.
Thank you. Good morning. To House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Senior Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez, Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, Minority Leader Marcelino Libanan, House Committee on Appropriations Chairperson Micaela Angela B. Swansing, and Senior Vice Chairperson Albert S. Garcia, SecGen Reginald Velasco, honorable members of the 20th Congress, and my colleagues in the government, of course, in the Department of Budget and Management, our media representatives, our PLLO Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., it is my honor and privilege to submit to Congress the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program for your review, deliberation, and approval. It amounts to 6.793 trillion pesos, or equivalent to 22% of the gross domestic product. While this is 7.4% higher than this year's 6.326 trillion national budget, the economic team carefully considered the available fiscal space and worked diligently to tighten the budget. In fact, we receive a total budget proposals amounting to 10.101 trillion pesos. And only those within the available fiscal space were considered. This ensures that even as we strengthen the economy and strive to achieve the nation's full potential, we remain committed to reducing the budget deficit. Given our limited fiscal space, we carefully evaluated all submissions based on the following key criteria. First, alignment with the priorities of the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Second, shovel readiness, which means proposals must have complete feasibility studies and procurement plans to ensure timely implementation. We also limited new construction to focus on the completion of ongoing projects. Third, absorptive capacity of agencies to ensure they can fully utilize their budgets. Next, fiscal space to maintain sustainability. We also encourage agencies to adopt efficiency measures. We reduced non-essential maintenance and other operating expenses, including travel, training, and utilities. And lastly, those projects with the highest impact. Nais ko din pong ipaalam sa inyo na pinaghirapan po ito ng ating mahal na Pangulo, who personally sat down with each agency, not just once, but several times, asking their concerns, their needs, and planning with them how we can make our agenda for prosperity truly felt by the Filipino people. And our very hardworking officials, bureaus, services, offices at the DBM, together with all the departments and agencies of the executive branch, worked hand in hand to ensure the fulfillment and the needs and aspirations of the Filipino people. Hence, for 2026, the largest allocation will go to social services, covering education, health, and social protection, with 2.314 trillion pesos or 34.1% of the total budget, followed by economic services with 1.868 trillion or 27.5% of the budget. While we always met the constitutional mandate to assign the highest budgetary priority to education, I am proud to announce today that for the first time, the budget for basic and higher education has been increased monumentally to meet UNESCO's recommended education spending target of at least 4% of the country's GDP. This is because we are determined to deliver immediate action on child nutrition, address the education crisis, and support our youth so they can find jobs and, more importantly, follow their dreams. The DBM worked very hard to achieve this breakthrough child responsiveness budget target, and I hope Congress will support us in achieving the administration's goal of nurturing future-ready generations. At 1.224 trillion, or about 16.6% of the proposed budget, this also meets the requirement of the UNESCO Education 2030 framework to allocate at least 15 to 20% of the total public expenditure to education, even exceeding the global average of just 14.2%. Healthcare remains a top priority. That's why the budget for the health sector will increase by 23.6% to expand and enhance delivery of healthcare services nationwide. This includes subsidies for PhilHealth to cover the insurance premiums of indirect contributors, as well as funding for medical assistance to indigent and financially incapacitated patients. We are also increasing the budgets of the DOH hospitals in Metro Manila by 20.2% and the DOH regional hospitals by 26.1%. This also includes funding for the operational needs of the Bukas centers, bringing affordable, quality healthcare closer to every community. We continue to scale up agricultural productivity and ensure food security, with 239.2 billion allocated to the Department of Agriculture and its attached agencies. To support our farmers, we will triple the budget for RCEF and increase the budget for National Rice Program by 38%. In addition, we will establish a National Agricultural Food Hub, which will serve as a major distribution and marketing center in the country. We will also continue the Rice for All program, providing affordable rice through Kadiwa centers and local markets, benefiting over 15 million households. Of course, we will continue to ensure that the Philippines remains among the fastest growing economies in the Asia-Pacific region to achieve an upper middle income status and become a top investment destination. As such, we will continue to allocate 5 to 6% of the GDP annually for infrastructure under the Build Better More infrastructure program. We will also dedicate 87.33 billion pesos to accelerate the digital transformation of government services. Among other priorities are, we will boost income earning abilities with a 55.2 billion allocation for labor and employment. We will protect our sovereignty for territorial integrity with a 299.3 billion allocation for the Department of National Defense. For peace and order, the Department of Interior and Local Government will receive 287.5 billion, while the judiciary will get 67.9 billion to enhance the administration of justice. We're also strengthening regional development by increasing the national tax allotment of LGUs and boosting the annual Black Grant for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Finally, we will use the program convergence budgeting approach, an interagency effort to eliminate program duplication and align targets, beneficiaries, resources, and timelines across agencies, as directed by our President. We have identified 15 PCB programs that directly support the priorities of the Philippine Development Plan, including Risk Resiliency Program and Water Resources Program. New PCBs are also introduced for fiscal year 2026, including the PCB on Public Financial Management System and the Building Early Growth to Integrated Nurturing, or BEGIN program. These are just some of the highlights of our 2026 national budget. We have also prepared a video to further explain the details of the various allocations. Sana po ay pakinggan ninyo ito upang sama-sama po nating maiangat ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan, kasama na ang mga susunod na henerasyon. Handa po ang DBM at ang inyong buong kabinete na ipagtanggol ang fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program alinsunod sa direktiba ng ating Pangulo, alinsunod sa malinaw na plano ng administrasyon tungo sa isang bagong Pilipinas kung saan natutupad ang pangarap ng kabataan. Nagagamot ang may mga karamdaman, may tulong para sa mga nasalanta, may ani ang mga magsasaka, at may pagkain sa mesa ang bawat pamilya. At sa amin naman po sa DBM, sisiguraduhin po namin na bawat budget na ambag ng buwis at dulot ng pawis ng ating mga kababayan ay mauuwi sa kanilang kaginhawaan. We will ensure that transparency, accountability are embodied in our agenda for prosperity. Dahil sa bagong Pilipinas, mahalaga ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Secretary Pangandaman, for your message and briefing. Before we proceed with the formal turnover, may we request everyone to direct their attention to the monitors in front for an audio-visual presentation on the National Expenditure Program for fiscal year 2026.
Sa likod ng bawat budget ay may buhay, may pamilya, at may bukas na nakasalalay.
Dumating yung panahon na walang-wala, as in wala. Nung panahon na yon na kakain lang kami sa umaga at saka sa gabi.
Sama namo diri sa isla nga we don't have that kanang resources nga makakuha sa mga scholarship sa gawas sa dagko nga municipalities and cities.
Kung example, napupulok po yung palay namin kasi wala kaming dadaanan.
Kaya di nagkataon na kami ti panawin iti akta na kami na agkay din awan ti doktor ito.
Ito ang mga boses sa likod ng mga numero. Boses na pinakikinggan at tinutugunan ng budget ng bayan. For fiscal year 2026, the proposed national budget amounts to 6.793 trillion pesos, prioritizing programs in line with the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. This is how we advance our agenda for prosperity, by nurturing future-ready generations to achieve the full potential of the nation. Dahil sa bagong Pilipinas, mahalaga ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino.
Ibubuhos pa natin ang lahat-lahat, hindi lamang upang mapantayan, kundi mahigitan pa ang pagbibigay ginhawa sa ating mga kababayan.
Education has always been a top priority in the national budget. And in 2026, for the first time, we are allocating nearly 4% of our GDP to basic and higher education, meeting UNESCO's global benchmark. Mas maigting at agarang aksyon ang ating tugon dahil bawat bukas mahalaga. Mahigit 50,000 teaching at non-teaching positions ang nalikha mula 2024. Sa susunod na taon, 65,000 pa ang malilikha upang lubusan ng matugunan ang kakulangan sa guro, maging sa school counselors at administrative staff. Mayroon din tayong Teacher Effectiveness and Competencies Enhancement Project. Mas pinalawak rin natin ang DepEd Computerization Program sa pamamagitan ng 48,000 laptop packages para sa ating public school teachers. Mananatiling doble ang annual teaching allowance sa 10,000 piso, alinsunod sa Kabalikat sa Pagtuturo Act. Noong 2024, mahigit 3,000 silid-aralan ang itinayo natin at 4,000 pa ang itatayo sa 2026. At mas marami pang barangay ang magkakaroon ng Child Development Centers bilang suporta sa early childhood education. Magpapatuloy rin ang school-based feeding program laban sa malnutrisyon. Gayon din ang Last Mile Schools program para sa mga malalayong lugar. Bilang karagdagang tugon sa krisis ng edukasyon, mahigit 600,000 tutor ang tutulong sa ating mga mag-aaral sa public schools sa ilalim ng Academic Recovery and Accessible Learning o ARAL program. Lalo pa nating pagtitibayin ang Alternative Learning System o ALS para sa ating mga out-of-school youth and adults.
Sa ALS ko nakita yung isang pamilya, isang samahan na mga out-of-school youth na binubuo muli yung pangarap nila.
Patuloy ang paghahatid natin ng libre at dekalidad na tertiary education upang mas marami pang kabataan ang magkamit ng magandang kinabukasan. Magkakaroon ng Bagong Pilipinas Merit Scholarship Program upang matulungan ang mga karapat-dapat na mag-aaral na makamit ang kanilang mga pangarap.
Dahil hangad natin na sa lalong madaling panahon, ang bawat isang pamilya ay may anak na nakapagtapos ng kolehiyo o sa TESDA.
Upang mas maraming Pilipino pa ang magkaroon ng kakayahang kumita, magtrabaho at umasenso, mas palalawakin pa ang technical education and vocational training ng TESDA.
Malaking tulong kasi tulad dati parang mag-aalangan ka kasi wala kang alam. Ngayon parang taas noo ako na sobrang proud ako natapos ko. Pag nag-aral ka ng TESDA, professional ka na po talaga.
Mananatiling prioridad ang kalusugan dahil bawat buhay mahalaga. To ensure equitable access to quality healthcare, we are increasing the budget for DOH hospitals in Metro Manila and other regions. Hangad natin na wala nang matitirang bayarin ang mga may sakit. This covers the operations of the Bagong Urgent Care and Ambulatory Service or BUCAS centers, which have brought vital medical services to over 1 million Filipinos in 33 provinces since 2024. Pinalawak rin ang PhilHealth coverage. Magpapatuloy pa rin ang cancer support and treatment at medical assistance para sa mga pasyenteng nangangailangan.
Dito sa PGH, dito po ako naoperahan. Laking tulong po talaga ito sa mga mahihirap.
Sa Purok Kalusugan, mas malayong mga purok ang maaabot ng serbisyong pangkalusugan sa tulong ng mga health personnel at barangay health workers. Dahil bawat buhay mahalaga, we are transforming the country's social protection system. Sa patuloy na pagtugon sa hamon ng kahirapan, ang budget na nakalaan sa Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program o 4Ps ay halos doble para sa 2026.
Sa pamamagitan po ng 4Ps, hindi lang pag-asa binigay po sa akin. Buhay talaga. Pangalawang buhay.
At upang patuloy ang pag-unlad, patuloy rin ang tulong na matatanggap ng graduating 4Ps beneficiaries sa pamamagitan ng Sustainable Livelihood Program o SLP.
Ngayon na dumating yung SLP ay ngayon lang namin na tikman yung pagbabago.
Milyon-milyong disadvantaged at displaced workers ang nabigyan na ng hanap buhay ng TUPAD program at patuloy itong magbibigay ng suporta sa mahigit 1 milyon pang manggagawa sa 2026. Samantala, ang food stamp program ay patuloy na maghahatid ng food assistance gamit ang electronic vouchers. Tungo sa food security, patuloy ang suporta sa mga magsasaka at pagtaguyod ng sustainable agriculture dahil bawat puti mahalaga. Sa darating na taon, palalakasin pa natin ang irigasyon sa ating mga bayan tungo sa mas produktibong pagsasaka at mas malaking kita para sa ating mga magsasaka.
Ngayon pong may patubig na nakapagpaaral po ako ng 2 doktor sa isang seaman.
Upang palakasin pa ang produksyon ng bigas, mas paiigtingin natin ang suporta sa National Rice Program at palalawakin ang pamamahagi ng lupa sa pamamagitan ng support to parcelization of lands for individual titling project. Titriplehin din natin ang pondo para sa Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund o RCEF para sa seed development at farm mechanization.
Lumaki po ang aming income. Dahil sa teknolohiya, napadali na po lahat ang pagsasaka.
Magbibigay rin ng rice training ang RCEF sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang institusyon tulad ng TESDA.
Noong pong kami ay napapasok at nag-seminar sa TESDA, doon po namin natutunan kung paano namin iisa-isahin, step by step. Nakita po namin na gumaganda po yung ani basta sinusunod po namin yung aming pinag-aralan.
Ipagpapatuloy din natin ang Rice for All program na maghahatid ng abot-kayang bigas sa mga kadiwa centers at lokal na pamilihan. Sa halagang 20 pesos kada kilo, makakabili na ng pangunahing pagkain ang bawat Pilipino. Magtatayo naman tayo ng National Agricultural Food Hub sa Clark para maging pangunahing distribution and marketing center. Dadagdagan pa natin ang mga farm-to-market roads upang mas mapadali ang transportasyon ng ating mga produkto.
Kung nung magawa yung farm-to-market road na to, napakalaking ginawa po.
We are investing in sugar development and supporting the coconut industry to boost production and livelihoods. To sustain economic growth, we will continue allocating 5 to 6% of GDP annually for the Build Better More infrastructure program. In 2026, we will build better and build more road networks, railway systems, airports, subways, and busways, and other public transportation projects. But progress goes beyond physical infrastructure. Digital transformation is also essential. We are expanding free Wi-Fi access in schools and public spaces nationwide, while the Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project will boost broadband connectivity in remote and underserved areas. Paiigtingin din natin ang e-government program kasama ang eGov Super App upang mas mapabilis at mapadali ang paghatid ng serbisyo publiko. At upang masiguro na bawat Pilipino ay may national ID, bibigyan natin ng mas mataas na pondo ang Philippine Identification System. program at Tatak Pinoy app. Tourism remains a powerful growth engine, now with an even stronger branding campaign to promote the Philippines globally. We are also boosting the halal industry to become one of the leading drivers of the economy. To safeguard our national security, we are strengthening our defense systems. Towards sustainability, we will continue tracking our climate change expenditures. And we are making disaster resilience a budget priority by enhancing flood control and empowering local communities through the People's Survival Fund, or PSF. Fiscal decentralization is strengthened with a bigger national tax allotment share for LGUs and a higher block grant for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. And as we gear up to host the ASEAN Summit in 2026, we reaffirm our commitment to regional cooperation and global partnerships. And we are putting the Filipino people at the heart of it all.
Sa likod ng bawat programa, may buhay, may kwento, at may pangarap. At sa pamamagitan ng 2026 National Budget, sama-sama nating tutuparin ito sa bagong Pilipinas, kung saan bawat bata, saan ang sulok ng bansa, ay may pag-asang makapag-aral at matupad ang pangarap dahil bawat bukas dahil bawat butil mahalaga. Dahil sa bagong Pilipinas, bawat budget ay para sa mamamayan.
Thank you for that insightful presentation. The video reflects our shared vision of building a stronger, more resilient, and inclusive Philippines anchored on good governance, responsible spending, and people-centered development. We now come to the highlight of today's program. May we invite Speaker Romualdez and Secretary Pangandaman to kindly stand for the official turnover of the National Expenditure Program for fiscal year 2026. May we also invite everyone on stage to join them for a photo opportunity. Thank you very much. May we request everyone on stage to take their seats. Now, we invite the deputy speakers, House leaders, and party leaders to come on stage for the next photo opportunity. Thank you very much to our deputy speakers, House leaders, and party leaders. We now call on the Vice Chairpersons of the Committee on Appropriations. Thank you very much to our Vice Chairpersons. We now call on the House Executive Committee, led by the Honorable Reginald S. Velasco, along with the officials and staff of the Committee on Appropriations. Thank you very much. Next, we invite the officials and staff of the Presidential Legislative Liaison Office, headed by Undersecretary Adrian Carlos A. Bersamin. To join our DBM senior officials, we now invite the other officials and Secretariat support staff of the Department of Budget and Management. Thank you, DBM officials and staff. Your Honors, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the first part of our program. We extend our deepest appreciation to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, and to Secretary Amena Mina F. Pangandaman of the Department of Budget and Management for their presence and participation in this important milestone in our budget process. We likewise thank our Deputy Speakers, the Honorable House members of the Committee on Appropriations, party leaders, PLLO, and members of the Executive Committee for gracing us with your presence. Meanwhile, may we request the officials of the Department of Budget and Management to remain in the venue for the press briefing.